Alright. Which number does not belong? There's no wrong answer, unless you totally say, that one looks like a monkey. No, we need to have a math reason why it doesn't belong. Let's start with Grayson. Which one do you think doesn't belong?
16.
Why 16? Okay, 16 is the only even number. Good. What else do we have? She's lawyers. No, Quinn.
Yeah, she did. I can go. Alright.
You got, alright, Quinn again.
I'm say 25.
What?
Because 9 and 6 is 7. And then that's like after 7 is 16. And then we do 16 times.
You're making us like some AP calculus stuff. Jay.
I'm gonna say 43 because none of the other numbers is 43.
I can't say that's good.
Oh,
Is
but
there
I
a
have
better-
another one.
Is there a better way you can say 43?
No, but I can say 9 because it's the only non-two-digit number.
Oh, okay, that's better. Alright, 9 because it's the single digit. You girls know what I'm talking about. Don't you hate it when all your friends are all matched up with a boyfriend and you're like,
No, I don't
It's
think
me.
that's
it's me watching Amazon Prime all weekend. Oh, give me the popcorn and the pizza.
No, it's
And a root beer. It's another night by myself. Don't check Snapchat. Don't check Snapchat. Alright, let's continue. What else? What else is different? Yes, Scott. Shh.
I think 25 shouldn't go there because 5 going into it evenly.
Yes.
I need a man.
Jane, I'm asking nicely again. Please don't talk. 25 has a factor of 5, which nothing else has a factor of 5. Does 5 go into 9 evenly? Nope.
No.
It'll hit 15, but not 16. It'll hit 45, but not 43. Excellent job, Ethan.
That 9 is like 9 times 1 is 9.
And,
Or
and
3
16
times
times
3
1
can
is
only
16.
equal 9.
Oh, so 3.
Times 3 can only equal 9.
So 9 is the only one with a factor of 3. Genius.
I know, right?
That's the first. Nobody said that one yet. It's the same 3 kids. Or 4. Alright, Quinn. Oh, no, wait, no.
Can I raise my hand?
Sam. It's only one that what? Oh, factor of 4. Yeah, 16's the only one with 4 in it.
Yes.
3, 4, 5.
Yes.
16. You said factor.
Factor of 8. Alright.
Factor.
16. I'm just going to put 16 as a F of 8. Factor of 8. Yes.
I'm gonna say 9 because it's the only one that I can.
9 goes into 9 evenly. Yes, 9 is a factor of 9. Alright, I think we got all the factor ones out. Do we have any other non-factor reasons?
Man, they're all laughing off of me. Actually, no.
Yes. Oh, you put your hand up? If you guys are all dried up, I'm gonna give you some of the ones the other classes had. You guys had probably more than the other classes, but they came up with a few more exotic ones. Grayson, I'll give you one last one.
Everything is 16
Everything, what?
Okay, everything divided by 9. 9 times 9 divided by
follow.
9.
So like I said, 16 divided by 9 ends with 0.7. 25 divided by 9 is 0.7.
9 is odd.
Everything ends in 0.7.
No,
If
because
I
9
did my math
divided
right,
by 9
Alright,
is 1.
Miss Moody's gonna check. Speaking of 7, here's what somebody in the other class said. What's 1 plus 6? 7. What's 4 plus 3? 7. What's 2 plus 5? 7. If you add the digits, they all add up to 7 with that one.
smart.
That's one that they said. Alright, here's another one that somebody said. There's a number, there's a special number called, is that right?
So all of them repeat. When you divide 16 by 9 and 43 by 9 and 5 by 9, they all ended in repeating 7.
Oh.
So
we're just
not
gonna
our-
say
Not pretty close.
0.7 repeats on all of them when you divide by 9. Alright, when we talk about numbers, there's a few numbers that are like celebrity numbers, I call them. They're called perfect squares. And they're called perfect squares because it's almost like an area problem. If you have like 2 and 2, what would the area of that square be? 4. So 4 is called a perfect square because if you had it as a length and width, it gives you the area. Well, some of these are perfect squares up here. For example, what number times itself gives you 16?
4.
4 times 4 gives you 16. What about this one? 5 times 5 gives you 25.
And then 9 is 3.
And then 3 times 3 is 9. So these 3 are called perfect squares. So you can say 43 doesn't count because it's not a perfect square. So these are squares. Alright, and that's about all the ones I thought of. Alright, you have your whiteboards now. We're going to do 3 division review questions. You're going to hold them up and show me, and I'm going to say yes or no.
I leave the room with them running down to Mary Floyd's office. I'm waiting to see if she emails me.
Okay.
I'm down. Don't know why.
I know, I don't know what to do. So just change it.
Yep.
You erase it.
7, 14.
Yes.
And then you just multiply. Yeah, I got it right.
Is there any... Okay, can you guys not argue? Just worry about yourself. Ethan, is this yours?
Wait, hang on.
Yes, good. 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 Yes. Is that equal sign or a negative?
No, I'm not.
Yes. 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 Good. Good.
No, because I had it.
Alright. Is this anybody's lunchbox?
Yes. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Is this yours?
Yes.
It's been here for a few days. You might want to throw out whatever might be in there.
Is it more like
No, keep it in there. I don't want it opening. What if it's me? Of me?
It's empty. She said it's empty.
Yes.
I already said yes.
Yeah. Alright. Good. Alright, so we're going to do this one. Keep it. Change it. And what would it be flipped? Ethan and Jade. Yes, Ethan. Flipped. Alright, when you multiply, you're going across the top. 2 times 7 is 14 over 20. That's a good answer. Some of you had the best answer. What's the best answer? It'd be 7/10 is the best answer. These are the same. Try this one.
Straight across?
No, this is division. You still have to, no, you can't switch them around. You can only switch them around for adding and multiplying. It's called the commutative property. If you add or subtract, yeah. I had an answer sheet here. What?
The car doesn't erase.
What do you mean? Good, right? You want me to erase this?
Sure, go ahead.
You're right. That's why I don't like the green. The green doesn't erase very good. Well, if you have Clorox, you're not going to be able to write on it. You gotta let it dry. What is a negative divided by positive? Yes, you're right.
What is 8 times?
What is a negative divided by positive? Negative divided by positive? Yes, you're right. No. I think
Wait, negative.
you're the one thing you have is pretty good. I think. I'm not sure. Yes, Lily.
Is
Yes.
this?
Yes. 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 What is a negative?
Change and flip, so.
The top is negative.
But negative.
I know that's a negative. Then the top would be a negative.
Oh.
Because the negative, when bad things happen,
that is
Oh,
that. It's gonna be negative. Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, let's see what happens. You checked it, changed it, you didn't flip it.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Yes, good job, sir. And yes. Alright, keep it. Change it. And then if you write 6 over 1 and you flip it, it's going to become 1 over 6. 1 times 1 is 1, 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 8 is 48. Negative times a positive is a negative.
wait, I have a question.
Yes.
I wrote it like this. I don't know if it's the same. I put the negative right there.
Yes, that's still right.
Yeah,
That's a
you
good
said it was
question.
wrong or whatever.
Would I say this is right or wrong if you put it down here? That would be right. What if I moved it to here? That's still right. What if I moved it to the very front like that? That's still right. No, you can't put it on the other side. Alright, last one. Keep it, change it, flip it. We're dividing. Okay. Are you alright for 1? For 2, stop being silly. You proud of yourself, Edmund?
There we go. Oh, wait.
Yes. 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 This is right. This equals
Jay.
so yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh. Whatever. It says that. I'm gonna go with that.
Negative. Negative is right. Positive. Yes. Good. 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 Everybody else. Alright. No, yes. Yes.
I even converted for you.
Alright. Ethan, I'm gonna move you over there, buddy. Morgan slide over 1, and then Ethan goes sit next to where Morgan's sitting. But why is that a bad idea?
Why is that a bad idea?
Noah and who?
Yeah, I don't really talk.
We'll see how it goes.
We're fine together.
Huh?
Is this also right?
Yes, that's right. Alright, go sit over there.
I want to see.
Yeah, when you say it's
No. This seat's good for you. It's on the door. You get your free drinks or whatever, isn't it? Yeah, I'd rather you get it. Plus you got a sweet angle. And you guys in front, Miss Mooney can help you guys pretty quickly too. Alright, let's do this. We have -5. Keep it. -5 over 1. Keep it. Change it. Flip it. Yeah. Here's a question. What if I put the negative on the bottom? Would that mess me up?
Nope.
It wouldn't.
Because the bigger one gets the
Because watch what happens. 5 times 3 is 15. Negative times a positive is negative. And then 1 times 2 is 2. Positive times a negative is negative. And guess what? Negative divided by negative is a positive 15 over 2. If you had that, that is a good answer. Some kids said that equals 7.5. That is also a good answer. I think I even saw kids write 7.5. That's also correct. 7 is 3.5.
Like, if I add so many zeros.
Yeah, but you don't want to add zeros because you don't need them. They're just taken for granted unless it's money.
Half of 3.5 is 2.5, right?
All right. This activity, you're going to work with a partner if you want to. Some of you, hold on, I'm going to assign you partners. So the way this works, and this is how I would suggest, especially if you have these big boards. If you don't have them, that's fine. You can give them a small board. Somebody raise your hand and pick one of those and tell me what you think it equals. Addie, which one are you looking at? 1 plus 2. What does that equal? 3. So I know this one equals 3. Alright, is there another one up there that somebody sees that equals 3? Noah.
Oh, but negative 3.
It was that president. Hold on, let's see. Alright, Noah.
1 minus negative 2.
1 minus negative 2. That also is minus, plus. So, yes, these two are matched. Everything should have a match, at least one. Unless for some reason somebody dropped one and then you have 19. I don't want you doing this anymore up here. I want you working with a bag. I spent a lot of time cutting these out. It was really tedious, believe it or not.
Were you cutting those on Monday, I think it was?
Huh?
Were you cutting those on Friday or Monday?
Yeah. You saw me doing it? Didn't it look boring?
No, I want that with you. Yeah, you were saying.
Alright. Buy yourself a partner here. Which one you want? Which one costs you the most? The opposite of what you said. You want a partner? Alright, you can stop working together. Come up here.
Let's know where's Marcus.
Huh?
Let's know where Marcus is. He has no.
Where is he?
They're behind you.
No, I'm signing you here. Marcus has a nice table. Ava and Patty work together. Who do you work well with, Marcus? Who do you not talk to?
I'm out on the board with spaces so I can write about.
No, I move on here. Who do you work well with?
Chloe, she can work with me and Ash.
I'm not gonna. Let me just figure it out.
And then you go. Chloe, and you go.
Don't go over here where Morgan is. You and Grace can work together. Morgan, here, you and Ethan can work together. You guys already work together enough. Let's change it up. You two work together. I'm going. I'm in the middle of doing something.
Are we allowed to come up for alright. Short with one.
Julia.
I already got one.
Eric and Grace switch teams. One is Eric and one together. Who does you want to work with?
First of all, I need to get I'm gonna name my dog now. 1 plus negative 2. Name it Meow.
You want this? Yeah, okay. Alright, move it on that side. Yeah, you're good. No, so you can see their work. Does everybody have a partner or did I miss somebody?
Negative 1 or negative
2? Hey, before you start, Kyle, make sure you have 20. If you're missing one. Try to figure out which one you're missing if you're not missing.
I'd go positive. That was good, right?
When you're done, are you done?
If you have $1 in your account, you have $1 in your account, and you buy something that costs $2, how much is your check? You have $1 in your account, and you buy something that costs $2. Are we gonna opt for the right or are we gonna opt for the left? I might not be able to play clarinet. So what this one would do is like negative 15. So you would end up getting negative 15.
So now for 2006, how many times have we checked your answer?
Is there any other one that was like that? Yeah, this one's going to equal 2. Wait, this equals 2, right? 2 over 1? Is that one 2?
We need that one. Wasn't a marker. Oh. Got two for that one. same points. What I know that's what anyways, I didn't know to erase the rest. I'll make it look.
Wait, if this one is, if this one's two,
No, I'm not saying.
No, that was what.
Bro, the green doesn't erase.
We know I missed
Wait, is today the 4th?
the third.
My birthday's on Sunday.
It's on Sunday? October 2? I like October.
I know, but I wish it was like on Friday.
I need to get that answer.
This is your leftover pile. So you get 8 over 4.
Okay, yeah, right. No, look, I'll be there.
8 times 1, 4.
No, look.
We got it. You guys are so fun. What?
Keep the chances.
Stop taking my stuff. I told you. Are you?
Nate and Scott, in your chairs. Stop
going to other groups. Take a seat.
You have one left over.
Focus on your own group.
She's a high racer.
Flip it.
That is your racer. This is mine.
Alright. If you're not ready, it's okay. We're gonna slowly start putting these together. So if you want to, all you're gonna do is drag them to the bottom in columns and write what they equal on top. Maybe I'll do this full screen so we have a full.
We got them all right here.
Alright, you got you can drag them down here. Let's see who wants to go first. Alright, Scott. And actually, Nate, if you don't mind, just put your chair so you can face. Just put it like kind of between my desk and stuff. Yeah, you can drag two of them down.
You're right.
And everybody's paying attention, checking your answers. He's grabbing. Tell me what you're grabbing because my eyes are bad.
I'm grabbing 1 divided by 1/4 and 1 times 1/4.
Alright, put it on top of each other. What do those equal?
Those equal 4.
Alright, put the marker, put a little 4 on top of them. You guys agree with that? Good. I think that's right. Keep it, change it, flip it equals 4. To save space, I'm going to shrink that slightly. Good. Alright. Julie. They're in the front, they're easy to get going. 8 divided by 4, and then what do those equal?
Nate, take a
Those
seat.
both
Scott,
equal
take a seat.
2?
You can see behind you. I have no stuff in my chair because there's a blackboard here.
Alright.
That's fine.
Alright, Lily.
We good.
You gotta hit arrow.
Wrong one. It's still the eraser.
There you go.
No,
Alright, negative 10 plus negative 7. Or no, sorry, negative 10 minus negative 7.
Wait, no.
Alright, try again. This is like Price is Right when they like ask you.
That one. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know the answer.
Alright, what do those equal, Lily? Good stuff. We got room for one more set off to the right. Alright, Ava's group.
There's so many things.
Nate, take a seat.
What's our eraser? Thank you. Okay, so then this equals.
Nathan, you got my pass at all or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you go.
218.
Hello. Yeah, she's up there. Yeah. Alright, those equal positive 2.5. A negative divided by negative is positive. If you guys did this work, you probably should have ended up with something 15 over 6. And if you guys say 15 over 6, it's the same thing. 6 goes with the 15 2 times with 3 left over. So, yeah, all this stuff is good. I'm going to make room. Maybe we could put the next setup in the top left.
Dude, be quiet. I put it over there.
Maybe we can ask each other. Alright, this is what's left over. Let's drag some of this stuff over to, put the next sets over here and here. Let's try that. Alright, Ashley? I got to pick it. It's all girls. You gonna go next? Alright. Ashley, did you still want to go?
Oh, okay. This one. Come on.
You guys can go together. I don't care. Yeah. Well, let me call on the boy next and you can go.
Okay, so we did that one because
negative 2.5. So write like a little negative 2.5 on top of that. Alright, got a little room next to it if you wanted to do that one, Ethan. Is there still one that you want to do? Alright.
She wrote an S on
Good job, Jay. That looks good.
I put 2 and 1/5.
Hit
Move.
the arrow
I
and then drag.
tried. This is so hard. Nathan, look. Nathan, look at the screen.
Those equal. Hey, that's gonna equal -3. Good. It's like you have negative $10 in an account and you pay somebody $7. Does that make sense? It's negative 10 degrees outside. It warms up 7. It'll be -3. All right, Emma.
No, there's an arrow in the middle.
Stand.
Arrow. Yep. Now you can drag. That one.
Back up, dude.
That one. All right. Red and blue. What do they equal?
Back up. Go.
All right. Good teamwork. -2. Positive divided by negative is negative. All right. There's 4 left. Anybody think they got one of the last 2?
I can do it.
If you do the one
I can do it.
I'm doing one.
I do it.
All right, Noah, you can go.
I don't want to.
Marcus, go.
You. I know what you.
All right. So these 2 are going to go together, right? And then these 2 are going to go together? Yep. All right, what does this equal? Is that the one you're saying? Don't shout out answers. You're not helping me. And it's not 4. What's a negative times a positive? This is -4. And this one right here is going to equal -1. Good. All right, go put the things back in the Ziploc bags. Make sure you don't drop any on the floor. I want all 4 of them.
All of them. I'm gonna like throw them on the floor.
No. Good question. I'm probably going to grade papers and do lesson plans. That's what I do for fun.
That time it was. The last few times it was Sammy though.
Alright, if you have it in the bag, make sure it's closed and bring it up to me, please. If you could make sure you press the air out of it, that's appreciated. Thank you.
Alright, can I put
Thank
this
you.
board now or do we need stuff?
You can put away your wolf. You can put the big ones away. Yeah.
Sorry, Sam was going by.
I'm gonna put them back there anyway. Are these closed now? Can you close them for me, please? Do I have all the bags? Alright, go back to your seats now. Oh, it's not white? Did you use hand sanitizer? Here's these things called QR lights. Alright, go put that back so actually, put it by the window. It'll dry out. Alright, get out your math notebooks, please. Yes. Thank you, Addie, for being the only one with your notebook open, ready to go. Noah, you are now second. Brianna, I see you over there. Good job. Julia, thank you. Guys, I have goals, and they're important goals for me. My goal is to get 80%. We talked about transitions. Did we talk about why I don't like you returning stuff? Because how much time did I show you it would take up over the course? It was 6 hours wasted. I need every minute I can get. So when I say get your notebooks out, I can't wait 4 or 5 minutes for it. It needs to be something quicker. It's not because I'm mean. It's because I'm not mean. I just have these goals, and they're for reasons. Why do you think teachers get moved around? I want to teach 7th grade math. I don't want to get scores and be like, now you got to move down to like elementary, or now you got to move high school. That's what happens when I don't meet my goals. I work really hard to have a whole grade level. I've never had this before. All right? I started off, I was a math tutor. And then I taught like a couple 7th grade or something like that. And then they gave me, even last year, I didn't teach a whole grade level. I taught 1 6th grade advanced, 2 7th grade advanced, and 2 8th grade. So I never had a whole grade level. I want to hit 80%. And I want you guys to too. Because if I'm hitting it, that means you guys are on track to graduate. That's what I want. You do not have to write this down. This is a visual representation of one-step equation. So I'm going to set these up, and you're going to. This may only help some of you. Real quick, there's 3 ways people learn, and this is why I'm telling you this. Hold on. Raise your hand. Ooh, hold on. Raise your hand. You used a fancy word there. Noah. Let's see. Huh? Visually. Some people learn just by seeing. Good. Morgan. All right, Ethan.
I said kinetic.
Close. It's kinesthetic. What's kinesthetic learners mean?
It's like they hands to touch stuff.
Yeah. So in a way, this is my attempt to make it kinesthetic, but I don't know how much I'm going to have you come up and do it. And then the third one is, Grayson?
Oh, I don't know.
It's auditory. It means with your ears. So those 3 ways. So with my attempt, you can visually see it. You can hear me talking when people are talking. And you can, if you wanted to, some of you can come up here and maybe set this up. I'm going to show you what it looks like now. Alright, so I'm going to set up the left side. How am I visually going to set up x plus 3? Well, x is a variable, it's an unknown, and then we have plus 3. So I'm going to add 3 to it. The adding is the blue. So here's my x. Here, I'm going to twist it like that way it's not taking up so much space. I have x, and then I'm going to pull over 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, x plus 3. You guys agree that kind of represents that? Yeah. Equals. So I'm going to throw an equal sign here. Alright, now I need to set up 9. Unfortunately, I don't have 9, so I'm going to have to clone it. Somebody want to drag 9 over to the other side? Quinn?
Go, Quinn's gonna go. Because he looks like a go.
Watch how you clone too.
Yeah. 1. Oh, good job. See, that infinite clone is just like makes it. Like a ghost. That's 3. Good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
plus sign.
I thought you were making a pyramid. Alright, good job. Thank you, sir. Alright, this visually is what x plus 3 equals 9 looks like. Guys, when we solve an equation, we want to go, well, if x plus 3 equals 9, what does 1x equal? Like, we're trying to get 1x by itself. Well, showing work, so when you have your work to do later, this is how you show work. I'm going to draw a squiggly because the equal sign on an equation is almost like the pivot of a seesaw. You know that thing where, like, if two kids are like equal weights, it balances? You know what I'm talking about? You ever do that and then somebody jumps off it and then bombs down?
And then you fall and hurt yourself.
Yeah, that hurts.
That's fun to do.
It happened to me yesterday.
You're on your daughter.
I bombed from, what's it called, cherry bomb? Cherry bomb my daughter. No, I didn't. That's child abuse. You go to jail for that. Alright, you would, shh. Whole table. Sam, it might help you if you move on the other side of your face. Move like next to her. That way you're facing me. Huh? Are you gonna? Why? Every time I look over, you're not paying attention. So this is my nice way of saying, like, if I catch you talking to Jade, you're probably gonna get a detention. That's my nice way of giving it.
Your ceiling's broken.
Jade, stop talking. You talk too much. It's true.
I mean, it's true.
I spent a lot of time making my lesson, and I want to deliver it without distraction. It's alright. If you're truly sorry, you're gonna stop talking. It's one thing to say I'm sorry, and be like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm gonna say sorry. You really are sorry. And I'll tell you what, if you truly are behaved, I'll give you one of those donuts at the end of class. Dill? I have 2 left. But Miss Mooney bought some donuts, and I was like, she gave me a couple leftover.
You didn't give the bad person a donut?
It's not bad.
Did you just?
Alright, let's move on. See, now it's not gonna talk. Can't. We're gonna get x by itself. What is the opposite of plus 3?
3 plus?
Quinn. -3. So when you're solving this equation, this is like algebraically, you go -3 on both sides. That's what it looks like. When you're doing it with this, you gotta go -3 on the left, -3 on the right. I'm trying to put them next to them. Alright. When you have a positive and a negative, it's going to equal 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. What are you left with? You're left with x equals, Grayson. X equals 6. Who are you talking to? Oh.
Sure.
It's alright. Alright, so x equals 3. Look up here. If this would 0 out, you're left with x, and then you do 9 minus 3 is 6. So this is a visual representation of this. But let's be honest, are we always going to want to draw pictures? No, you're probably not even going to see pictures of this very often after this. Let's try this one. Somebody want to try setting that up. Now, somebody that's a kinesthetic learner. That means like you learn by doing. All right, Ava.
I want to do it.
I called on Ava. Oh, you don't want to do it?
I'll do it.
All right, Marcus.
I don't want to do it.
Let's see how he does. If he messes up anything else, I'll
Yeah,
coach him.
can't wait though. Got this. You got the hops. How do you move? Okay. How do you turn it around?
Wait, hold on. This is turning into a disaster.
The diagonal.
Hold on.
Straight.
Here, let me guide you first.
You broke it.
Broke it. All right.
Something good.
All right. And here's what I want you to set up. Set up 4. So just show me what 4 is. Positive 4. So drag whatever you need to do to show me 4 visually.
2, 3. Just like chuckle. Yeah, just throw it. What did I do?
not take up so much room. Alright, so we have 4. Good. 4 equals. Alright, now since you're up here, set up x minus 7. What's that going to look like? There's your x. There you go. Alright, minus 7. Alright, we got enough, I think. Alright, we can't really count them because you put some of them on top of each other, so let's spread them out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, in the end, we want x by itself. Is x by itself or is it with its boys? It's with its boys. So what is, you can sit down, good job, Marcus. Alright, what is the opposite of, what's the opposite of minus 7? So the opposite is going to be plus 7 on both sides. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Add 7 to both sides. I should have wrote that in blue. Plus 7, plus 7. So now I'm going to add 7 to both sides. I don't have enough, so let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is annoying. 6 and 7. All right. Does anything on the left side zero out? Lily, what am I missing? Okay. Let me ask it again. Does anything on the left side zero out? No, it doesn't. Because you're just adding. You're adding more to it. What do we end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 4 plus 7 is 11.
7, 11.
Just don't go confused. 11. Now we have negative 7 plus 7 equals 0. In fact, all of these zeroed out. They all equal 0. So what does this equal? X equals 11. X equals 11. X equals 11.
So water.
Is this helping anybody visually?
Yes.
Let me-
Helping me.
Let me try one. I'm gonna try one more. But this one is with multiply. You want to try setting this up? Wait.
Can I try?
I feel bad. I told Sam he could go next. All right, Sam. This. Oh, I will be honest. This one is tricky.
That's why I can do it in my house. That's really annoying. Yeah, leave it open. Leave it open. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's soothing. What? I wanted to try this infinite clone. You know the rotate. That's a green dot, right? You're gonna have to. 3 times that.
Can you tack that against him and make it 90 degrees straight?
Yes, please do.
And then grab. Yeah. There it goes. Good stuff.
Yep, OCD.
All right. 3x
Yeah, I'll see
equals,
that.
and you're gonna bring 9 over. You might have to tap one of them to make it infinite clone.
But make it over there. Don't make it over there. Don't make it in the middle. Make it over to the other one. No. Infinite clone. No, don't do it there. Over there.
Let him do his thing. Just keep dragging him over.
Yeah, let him do his thing.
If you need more, I'll get you more.
How do you infinite clone?
Alright, click it and then hit the arrow. And then,
Infinite
there it
clone.
is. And then it'll keep going.
Insulin clone. Insulin.
Not insulin clone.
Yeah. Is it insulin? It's what's your heart produces.
It's like diabetic.
It's what your heart produces. Your heart produces what? I thought it was 8. No, okay.
Alright, let's step away. Good job, Sam. Well, maybe good job. Let's see. Even if he's wrong, it's still a good job. Here's a question. Is this 3x or is this 3 plus x?
3x.
It's actually, what he set up is 3. His equation is actually 3 plus x equals 9. So, so when I say 3x, that means 3 times your x's. That means they actually want 3 of these.
This is going into algebra now. At the end, you should have the x at the end of it too.
Alright, the only correction I needed to make was the 3x. So this is 3x equals 9. Now what's the opposite? What type of math is going on here, even though I don't see it? Multiplication. So this is going to be, guys, please stop with the jokes. Multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So you would show your work like this. Divide by 3, divide by 3. How would I visually show this to you? Well, here's 3 of them. Let me categorize them like this. 1 for you. No. Right. 1 for you. 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 And 1 for you. What does 1x equal? 1x equals 3. That cancels out. 1x equals 3. Okay, this is one-step equations. And this is what we have 15 minutes to do 3 examples. We're in good shape. But we're going to skip to this. This is where your notes start. 10-3. Yes, I'm going to cancel the bottom. You don't need to know the bottom until 8th grade. The opposite of squared is square root. You'll learn more about that in 8th grade. In 7th grade, you only need to know about the inverses of add, subtract, multiply, divide.
I know what that is now.
Slope? Slope is something you'll learn. Yeah, slope is something you'll learn when you do proportional. So.
Oh, I learned what it is because I looked at the game slope and it just showed me. I have no clue.
Thank you, Cassie, for getting started right away, and Marcus, and everybody at the front tables.
I got that.
Jay, question.
Is that the 8?
What? That's on 10-3, October 3rd. All right, we're transitioning into notes. We're gonna do this slide. We're gonna do 2 definitions, and we're gonna do 3 examples, and then that's as far as notes we're gonna get. We're gonna save multiplying and dividing for a different day. So let me try that again. Does that look better for you, Jay?
Yeah.
Sorry. You will have a little bit. But here's the truth. For second period, it should not be hard because they had enough time to get through what they needed to. For 6th period, it probably will be hard because I had to rush through it. Because we had kids in there that were not acting right, wasting time. For you guys, I think you should have a good idea. Huh? Yeah, we should have. We'll see. Alright, the way you read this table is like this, left to right. The opposite of add is subtract. What's the opposite of subtract?
It's right there. No, it's not. They said this is safe like this.
We'll read it side to side. Let's try it again. The opposite of add.
Subtract.
Opposite of subtract.
Add.
Opposite of multiply.
Divide.
Opposite divide.
Subtract.
No, you're gonna make me slam my head through the desk.
I want to see that.
He said it, right? Or is that Ethan?
What?
It was one of the
What did I say?
Was Noah?
What did I
You said subtract.
Did I? Did you? Did you? I didn't mean to. You also add by accident. Did you? Did I?
Are we good on this slide?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll wait for a few people.
I'm done.
When your pencils are down, I know that you're done.
Yes.
So we're just waiting for Marcus and Noah.
My dog was right.
I'm not responsible for who's going to teach you math. Are we good? Alright. Alright, the definitions. The first one is variable. You should remember that from last year. Variable, and I saw some of this on 6th grade review. It'll say, what is the variable going to equal? That is just a letter that takes the place of some value that you don't know. Usually, your variable is going to be lowercase. So, use lowercase. And usually it's an X for some reason. It's usually an X. If it's a uppercase, it usually stands for formula that you're using. Like Fahrenheit has its own formula. Volume. So there's some volume formulas. It'll be capital V.
Wait, there's lowercase v's and capital v's.
Capital V is usually like a volume. I mean, you'll see. There's classes in science. Eventually, science classes turn into like your math classes. So when you start doing physics and stuff, it's a lot of equations. Can't wait, right? All right, and then the other definition is coefficient. That's kind of like the number that goes in front of the variable, and it's multiplied. So even though you don't see it, it means multiplied. It has the power of invisibility. Multiplied. All right. So, and that 3x, which part of that is the variable? X. So I'm going to draw an arrow here. This right here is your variable. And then this thing over here is your coefficient. 3.
It's not sunny out.
It does. It's right here. My handwriting's not the best, I know.
It works.
Dude, his handwriting's better than most of yours. No, I'm making you.
My handwriting we can read.
I remember coefficient because a co, for some reason, I think of like co-pilot. Anybody know what a co-pilot is?
I do.
What's the purpose of a co-pilot?
Like second in,
Yeah, of flying a plane. Grayson, why does every flight have a co-pilot, you know?
Just in case the pilot dies.
That's actually right.
He's like,
He's like,
wait, serious? I was going to say, oh,
or not like necessarily die, but becomes unable.
or
Yeah.
tired, or passed out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or sick.
Garcia. Or he's also a part-time doctor. That's helpful. This pilot, his life title died.
I can't hear him.
His windshield cracked in like mid-flight. Then the pilot was halfway out the windshield. What?
I don't know what movies you're watching.
It was a movie on the news.
no, it wasn't.
What?
Stop lying.
And the guy, and today, a guy hijacked a car with a box.
So wait, did that guy live or no?
Yeah.
I'll put it down.
I forgot. I think it's today, tomorrow, something.
Yeah.
Today or yesterday.
Alright guys, let's get back. We gotta get through 3 examples. Alright, hurry up and write this down and then look up here and model this. Usually I would walk around and check it. This time I just want you to make sure that you're modeling what I'm doing. Pretty much everything I do. The reason why I'm asking Mr. Garcia, I can solve these in my head. I know you can. But I'm not teaching you what the this is 6th grade math. I'm not teaching you 6th grade math. I'm preparing you for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade math. Every math teacher you have, whether it's me, all the way up to the high school, when you solve the equations, they're going to expect you to do your work like I'm about to teach you right now. Before I can teach you 2-step equations, we got to do 1 step. This is actually on your performance task. I don't know why. I don't think it should be.
That's funny.
This is totally about expressions, but it is on your performance task, so I thought it'd be fair to actually spend time on it, so that's what I'm doing. My first tip, draw a squiggly. Okay, that's like your pivot of your seesaw. What you do on one side, you gotta do on the other. What is my variable up here? Brianna, what is my variable? Is P by itself or is it hanging out with the buddy here? My buddy, we gotta get rid. We gotta isolate P. How do I get rid of -7? What's the inverse? Let's go back to this slide. What's the inverse of subtracting 7? Adding 7. So we're gonna say +7 on both sides. This, if you can very lightly, I don't know if I have a word for it. Maybe very tiny. If you get very tiny, you make a zero out. It's gone, but you can still see your work. P equals 10. I need to buy more. I need to buy new of these. It's like getting dull. P equals 10. Miss Rosita, can I check my work? Yes, you can always check your work. You just do -7 plus, and then you're plugging in. Instead of P, you put in 10. Is -7 plus 10 going to equal 3? Yes. It checks out. It's going to be 3. Question, yeah. How did I get what?
I thought it was -4.
10? Alright, what I did is I added 7 to both sides. Did you follow that or not? Alright, let's go back.
Oh, I get it.
Alright, what do I want by itself, Ava? No, I want P by itself. So how do I get rid of, what's the opposite? Hold on. This is the thing about Ava, like she might not get it at first, but you saw she was beating everybody in this room with the board. She might not get it at first, but she gets it eventually, and she gets really good at it. What is the opposite of -7? 7 plus 7. So we added 7 to both sides, and then when we add 7, this one equals 0. It's gone. So what are we left with? We're left with 3 plus 7. That's just like I was trying to show you on these ones. Like, you're left with, that was the visualization. Alright, going back to this.
Oh, I get it now. I get it. I understand.
P equals 10. Alright, let's try an example that's a little different but kind of the same. -45 equals 6 plus F. Ethan, what's my variable? Alright, is F by itself or is it hanging out with the friend?
Hanging out with
Okay, we gotta get F by itself. How do I get rid of, now this could be tricky. Is that a positive or -6?
Negative.
It's a
Gotta be
positive,
negative.
that's a +6.
You said tricky, so
Because it's tricky because they don't put, here's why. I think you guys would do better if they wrote it like +6 plus F, but doesn't that look like weird? So they don't do that. Whenever it's positive, they just say, boom, positive with nothing in front of it. What do you think the opposite of a +6 is? -6. So when we're so we're going to subtract 6. Is that balanced or not balanced? It's not balanced. I need to put -6 on both sides.
Oh, wait.
How'd you know how much I weigh?
Dude,
F
equals.
F equals. All right, and then this is going to be -51. Okay, this was a hard one. There's nothing in your homework that hard. But what zeroed out? This zeroed out. You're left with F equals -51. Let's try one last one. This is the last example. K minus 22 equals 101. Here's the squiggle. Somebody think they know what we can do on both sides to get K by itself? Adding. Well, it is subtract 22. What's the opposite of minus 22?
Plus 20.
Plus 22. Whenever you add or subtract, you should draw a line to clean it up. Abdullah, you following me? K equals 123. When I give you the worksheet, you're only doing the side that says add and subtract. In fact, put your name. Because the other side looks just like it, but it's multiply divide. I'm going to hand it to you face up. You want to get across the back row for me? So get everybody on the back of the row. Face up. Put your name on that side. Put your name on that side. That side, actually. Let's sit down. Put it on this side. This side. This side, Julia. Put your name right now. Put it on this side. Nathan, can you sit down? Put your name on this side.
Easily.
Put your name on this side.
Alright, you made it.
Put your name on this side. And who am I missing?
You think I'm playing?
You're always doing both sides?
Oh, she just said.
You're only doing this side that says addition, subtraction. Just put your name on the side that says addition, subtraction, and then you can put your cheers up and get going. But pull my whiteboard back too. You got one? Oh yeah, you were good. If anybody wants to stay and help put up the rest of the chairs, you can get whatever donuts left over. Oh, put it back in the thing. If you help me put away the leftover chairs, you can have one. Ava, I told Ava she could have it, Marcus. Unless you guys want to split it. You guys can go.